Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a review on this Comica BoomX-D D2 wireless mic system, so here we go. So the way I normally do reviews is I'll start with some general information about the system, then we'll do the cons, and then we do the pros, so that way we end on a good note. So with that said, general information, first off, it's a 2 lav mic wireless system, and so as you can see, here's the actual lav mic. I have the transmitter down here, which you'll see later, and then of course the receiver is there. So I like that this particular system is a 2 wireless lav mic system rather than just a single. And so the YouTube channel that comes to mind for me is Asian Boss, if you've ever seen their channel, because the interviewers always seem to have their own little mic and they have to go back and forth with the interviewee. And so having a 2 lav mic system to start is great because I can have my own like this as a wireless mic, or I can just use a transmitter, and then you can have a second one as like your, like your hand mic for the interviewee that you can just keep over, by their mouth, so when they're talking, they've got good audio as well, instead of just going like this back and forth all the time. I always find that kind of funny with that channel. And just an FYI, we'll be testing all the different pieces. So basically I'm using the lav mic right now. I'm gonna use just the transmitter later, and then later after that, I have a range test outside that'll have the transmitter and the wind muff on it. Comica has stated that the usable range for this lav mic system is 50 feet, and so that's with direct line of sight. So in the range test that I'll show you later, I got way farther than that, and the sound was fine. So 50 feet must just be their threshold to make sure that you get good sound within that threshold. The transmitter sends the data to the receiver via the 2.4 gigahertz wireless network, and so that's a good and a bad thing, because first, it's good because it's more common, which means you're going to have more range to be able to use the system. But then on the bad end, it's very common, and there are lots of different, wireless signals out there on the 2.4 gigahertz network. And so that could give you, interruption issues because there's so many different wireless networks and, signals on this network. The system does have live monitoring. It's a low latency 20 millisecond delay. And so it's not zero, it's not too bad, but there is a slight delay there. And on top of that, keep in mind that you need to have some sort of crew or a helper to actually be able to monitor, because the monitoring is on the receiver over there. So if it's just a one-man crew like me, I can't really monitor, because if I'm 20 feet, 30 feet away from the actual camera, well, there's no way I'm gonna be able to hear what I'm saying from the receiver, so just keep that in mind. Comica has provided a ton of different connections, so this system is compatible with most smartphones and most DSLR and mirrorless cameras via these different cords that they do provide for you. As with most lav mic systems, it is an omnidirectional pattern, so that basically means that it captures sound from everywhere rather than just directly in front of you like a cardioid pattern would. All 3 units have internal rechargeable batteries, which is great because then you don't have to find batteries and toss those batteries when they're dead. Comica has said that there's a 5-hour usable time per charge. So now we're going to go to the outside range test, so let's go outside. So here's the distance test. I'm outside. It's a little bit windy, so we'll put the muff to the test here too. I'll just keep backing up here. Comica says 50 feet is the max distance that you should get a good clean, communication. So this is probably about 50 feet here. Obviously I'm going to keep backing up so we can test this more. It's 2.4 gigahertz, of course. So, depending on the environment and how much interference there is with the other signals, it could be choppy, could be not. So I'm going to turn around now, and it might be, but again, I can't. All right, turn back around. So what I said, if it was choppy, is I can't monitor, so I can't hear if it's choppy or not. So I'm going to keep backing up here. Obviously, the best result is going to be if you're in direct line of sight of the receiver. So this is pretty far. So I think I'm going to stop here, and let's just see how it sounds in post. So now I'm going to switch to just the transmitter, and so now we're going to go to the cons. So the first con I have is that the system only has one USB-C cord to recharge all 3 units. So it would have been nice if there maybe be 2 so you can charge a couple of things at once, but it's not very hard to just get another USB-C cord and you're basically done. I don't know if this is exactly a con, but I'm going to point it out, is that in the range test, you notice that when I turned my back and I was pretty far away, it did cut out. And so that's why they have mentioned that the transmitter needs to be in direct line of sight with the receiver, so you get a good, clear, crisp sound when it goes into the camera or into your system. This next one, again, I'm not 100% sure if this is a con, but with the live monitoring, if you're a one-man crew like me, you can't do it. You have to have another person with you. So I think they kind of designed the system with a production crew in mind, where basically someone is going to be behind the camera monitoring for you. But keep that in mind, if you're just you won't be able to monitor if you're far away from the actual camera. The transmitters are pretty small and pretty light, but I have noticed personally that they do kind of hang a little bit. I've seen other reviews where they say they don't, but you may or may not be able to see that it's hanging. And an easy fix for that would be to just flip it inside out where it's against your neck or chest area, and then it shouldn't be hanging out like that. So that's it for the cons. So now we're gonna go to the pros. And if you've noticed, I have put on the little wind muff here so you can hear what it sounds like, in this format. So first con is that the units are very tiny and pretty small, as I've kind of mentioned already, and it's really compact, so it's really nice, and it comes in a nice little box where you can take with you, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. One nice thing about this system is that you can record in mono or stereo, and so if you're recording with both lav mics at once, if you're recording in stereo, you can actually split those tracks, and that way you can edit each person who's talking, and it just makes it a lot easier in post when you're able to do that. I like that the system comes with the little wind muffs, so if you noticed in the range test, it was a little bit windy outside, and you couldn't hear any of that with the wind muff on. So it's great that they actually included these, and that you didn't have to buy something separate. Yes, these units are tiny, but there is a little screen on each one, and they give you a ton of information, including your battery life, your speaking volume, your gain, and more. I'm really impressed with the clarity of the system. It sounds really good, and I think it sounds up to par with the Rode Wireless Go, which this particular system always gets pitted against. And while we're talking about the Rode Wireless Go, this system is way cheaper than that system, but it still gives you the same good quality of sound. I like that this system is very simple to use. There's just a couple buttons on each unit, and it's very intuitive, so you can basically just turn it on and get going and not waste time. This is very uncommon, but a very good thing is that if you're going to use the lav mic for the system, the actual lav mic has a lock. So when you plug it into the transmitter, it won't come out unless you basically take it out. So that's really cool and a really nice thought from Comica. So that's my review of the Comica BoomX-D D2 system. I think it's a great system. It gives you quality sound, and it's worth the money you pay. It's a lot cheaper than other systems, and you get that quality sound that you're looking for. So I hope you thought the review was helpful. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.